Hi, my name is Keith Cox. I'm with Seafood Analytics, and this is Chuck Anderson, also with Seafood Analytics. And welcome to another Fish Talk. And so Chuck has a strong background in seafood sales. And so what we're going to talk about today is what drives seafood sales at the supermarket seafood counter. What's a standard question that customers ask you?
Oh, okay. I'd say most common questions, probably, where's this fish from? Probably the most important and the one I get, maybe I should get more, but I get a lot is this fish fresh, or how fresh is it? You know, when did you get the fish in? How many deliveries do you get per week? I get that one a lot. And then the other one is, you know, how do I cook it? Because a lot of folks are kind of unsure, or even if they know how to cook fish, they're always looking for new ideas and new suggestions, new ways to cook something. So those are some of the more common questions I get.
Do most people have like a focused idea on what they want? Hi, I'm here to buy Bristol Bay sockeye. Or is it more like, so what's going on in the seafood display case today?
Yeah, I would say 2/3 of the consumers, you know, have an idea of what they want because they're comfortable with something. It's what their husband likes or, you know, their spouse likes. You know, my spouse likes salmon, so I come in to buy salmon. Or it's something that they're comfortable, you know, cooking, so that's what they cook. Now, the ones that come in, you know, with an open mind, that's the ones they're there twice a week. They're regular seafood customers. They're trying different things. And you know, a lot of times, and that's the way I am. I go up to a seafood counter. I have no idea what I want to buy until I look. You know, what looks like the freshest fish in the case. And you know, I would train a lot of my customers. I would say, please always ask me. You know, if you ask me what's the freshest thing in the case, I'll always tell you the truth. Could have been something I got in yesterday as opposed to today, but it is the freshest thing. And if you ask me what's the freshest thing, you're gonna love what you get every single time. Might be a shellfish, it might be a dark fish, might be a white fish, might be something you've never tried before, but you're gonna love it because it's gonna be really fresh.
But then you can maybe guide them on what might pair well with it. So a customer shouldn't be shy to be like, you know, what goes well with this, and then you can maybe come up with some suggestions.
And in today's world, I mean, I can certainly come up with some ideas of, you know, pairings with vegetables and with wines and things like that. A good fishmonger does that. But there's a lot of sources out there on the web, and you can Google a lot of those things. So if a customer, you know, especially those foodies, those people that really buy seafood, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, you know, they're coming up, and the smart ones, you know, come up and they don't have a set agenda on what they want to buy. And they do know that, you know, I really don't like bluefish, or there's certain fish, you know, mackerel might be too fishy for me. But for the most part, they're willing to try whatever is really fresh or what's new and different. So it's like, you know, anything new, different. Yeah, I've got opa from Hawaii. You know, I got some Arctic char, came from Iceland. Oh, really? What's Arctic char? You know, it's just, and you get the conversation and excitement going. And so if you want to be a good customer and really learn a lot about seafood, come open-minded to the seafood counter and ask what's the freshest fish in the case, or what's something new and different, and you're gonna have some great experiences.
So the standard question, it seems like there's two. It's like, hey, fishmonger, what's going on today? What's your freshest stuff? And then the second one was, I'm looking for this particular thing, you know, and then they're looking for advice on that particular thing, you know. What would be like a non-typical question? What's like one of the weirdest ones? Like a customer came up to you and like was like, "Whoa!"
They come from every angle, every direction. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, somebody's going to ask about mercury, or somebody might ask about PCBs and fish or something, or you know, is the oil spill, you know, gone in the Gulf of Mexico, or is the fish safe to eat because of that? Or it could be a nutrition question. You know, the doctor wants me to eat things that are low sodium and high protein and low in cholesterol. And what kind of fish? You know, can I eat oysters when they're like that? It's really all over the board. Yeah, it could be anything.
What impedes seafood sales? What makes someone put both feet on the brake and stop the seafood sale? Is there like one characteristic that does that?
I'm gonna turn that one around on you, because you're a regular seafood customer. What when you walk up to the seafood department, what turns you off? What would say, "Oh, I'm not going to buy fish here today"?
I hate to say it, but I'll just say it. When the person's kind of an idiot, when they don't know anything about anything, you know? And so honestly, you know, it's like, then it kind of wrecks my experience, and they don't know anything about where the catfish came from or the difference.
So you need to trust your fishmonger. You have to have some trust in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you would a pharmacist or a store manager, you know, who you know, those are people you really trust. And
Mm-hmm.
so your seafood mongers, you know, your fishmonger, your seafood department manager really has to be that confident, expert person that people can trust. That's a really good point.
I think another thing also is, like, you know, in a kind of an odd way, it's attention, you know. And so if the person's not giving me the attention, are they giving the fish the attention? You know, if they're going to have a conversation with me, you know, like I might talk to the fishmonger about my Passover fish, and if he doesn't understand that certain species, you know, he would have enough knowledge base to where we could have a conversation about it. But if he completely ignores me
Right.
and blows me off because he doesn't know, then that's gonna pump the brakes. I would say smell also. If something, you know, if there's a really, really, really strong odor, that would make me pump the brakes too.
Let me answer, you know, from the fishmonger point of view. Number one, smell. If your department smells, that's going to turn people off. Number two, no employees. If you've got a full service department and you only have one person working there and he's on lunch or on break, or you know, and nobody's covering the case, the fish is behind glass. The customer can't even get to the case. Guaranteed killer of sales. Not to mention, it's like, well, these guys aren't serious about seafood. You know, they don't have any employees back there. You know, so that'll kill seafood. Frozen fish. If you have boards, you know, little boards sitting on the display case, they're still frozen. Obviously, it doesn't look like a fresh fish market. And then just empty displays. You know, a lot of ice, a lot of greens. You want to see fish. You want to see abundanza. You want to see abundance of fish. And that really says freshness. And the opposite of it says, I'm not fresh, and it kills sales.
And so fresh is totally tied into quality. And so freshness and quality. And so how does the fishmonger communicate quality or freshness with that customer? And that's kind of an interesting one. How do they do that?
Okay, well, I'm going to turn that one on you. I'm going to turn that one on you too. You know, how would, as a regular customer, how do you feel that you've been communicated that there's good quality at that seafood department?
Well, he's not going to. I think it's through that trust and communication. I mean, if I go up and I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? You know, and then we're talking about all these different fish, and I'm like, what's your best stuff today? And they say, this is. I'm going to believe them, and I'm going to trust them. You know, and so that, I guess, quality and freshness is going to go right in with, you know, maybe the knowledge base of the fishmonger. If they know what the products that they have are, and they know where they came from, and they know, you know, when they were put in the display case, I'm going to, you know, be trusting that the quality and freshness is good. And if those things are lacking, then I'm going to have a hard time believing their quality is good.
Yeah. That's a great one. That's a great answer. So trust, you know, knowledgeable people behind the case. I think, again, you know, smell will kill sales, but I think a lack of smell is great for sales. So if you walk up to a counter full of fish, fresh, abundant, you know, piles of fish, and you still don't smell fish, you're like, oh, wow, this is a great fish market. I got lots of variety. It's well merchandised, you know, lots of bright colors. Then fish are all plump and moist and juicy looking. And I don't smell anything because it's really great sanitation. I'm going to believe there's great fish behind the counter. So that's a way to communicate quality, is through your merchandising, again, through your expertise, through your employees, and then and taking time to display the fish right. So one of the ways you express confidence and trust and expertise is take the time to lay every single piece of fish out. You know, make that angle or that edge. You know, make a real sharp, defined display. If you just have, you know, piles of fish that you just throw out there, you don't care about the fish. Well, it shows. The customers aren't going to trust that you're taking care of the fish because you're not, you know, taking care to handle it. But if you're laying each individual fillet in a crisscross pattern and it makes a neat pattern, you're taking time and you're handling your fish carefully. And I think that communicates quality to the customer.
Well, perfect. Well, that's some really good information, Chuck. All right.
Thanks for chatting fish and talking fish and guppying with me today.
All right. Until next time.
All righty. Thanks, guys.
Fish on.